Just another reason why you need cash, my friends. I'm telling you right now, cash is king, forever will be. Cash, 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 baby. Cash, cash, baby. Too cold, too cold. All right, so we're going to read this. Might seem odd, but we're going to read this article from Energy Transfer. Actually, what did the jobs number come in? Not out yet. All right, Energy Transfer made $2.4 billion from the Texas winter storm. All right, so I remember it wasn't, about 8 months or so ago, 6 months. One of y'all had emailed me about Energy Transfer, ET phone home. And I looked up because it had a high dividend yield and whatnot. And I looked it up and I just didn't buy it. Maybe I should have, I don't know. But I didn't, I won't. And the reason is because it got no earnings. Earnings per share were negative. And I just, I get it. Exxon has now an earnings per share negative. ET did back then. We shall see with the new numbers if they continue to do so. But hard for me to buy a stock that has got negative earnings per share. Anyway, it still does, of course, the trailing quarter. But anyway, so check this out. Energy Transfer LP, the pipeline giant controlled by billionaire Kelsey Warren, has emerged as the biggest winner from the deadly winter storm that paralyzed Tejas. The company saw positive earnings impact from the extreme weather of about $2.4 billion. Energy Transfer raised its full-year guidance to as much as $13 billion, up from $11 billion previously. The stock jumped as much as 4.9% in after-hours trading. The company joins a list of gas market players who reaped windfalls totaling only almost $5 billion amid the chaos of the storm. All right. Plunging prices and power cuts interrupted the normal flow of gas from many wells. Those with available supplies were able to sell at sky-high spot prices. Those with available supplies, those who had liquidity, were able to sell at sky-high prices. The corollary, of course, would be those with liquidity were able to buy at deep discount prices, if that makes sense. When it comes to cash and your portfolio get knocked around, if you got some cash on the side, you can buy deep discount stocks. They're trading well below what they should be when it comes to fair market value. So Warren Buffett, hey buddy. So Warren Buffett did in 2008 with Goldman Sachs and many other stocks. Hold on a second. The folks who have liquidity on the side have protection against volatility, but they also have the opportunity to transform some of that into a buying opportunity when the markets allow, like in this case here. So this guy had a bunch of gas sitting on the sidelines because he said the price is too low. I'm not going to sell it at this low price. I'm going to sit it on the sideline. Of course, everybody and their mom were upset as a dramatic gas shortage spurred demand for the supplies held in the company's storage facilities. The fossil fuel hauler was sued by CPS Energy, a Texas utility, in the immediate aftermath of the crisis for allegedly charging a natural gas price more than 15,000% higher than normal. Of course, ET rejected that. Let's see. Kinder Morgan, another pipeline operator, said last month the storm had $1 billion positive impact on the results. BP also reported an exceptional quarter in gas trading. While it didn't break down detail, one Citigroup analyst estimated BP's Texas-related gain easily exceeded $1 billion. Interesting. The storm could bring a longer-standing boost to ET's earnings as customers are now demanding for increased storage and transportation capacity under long-term contracts to mitigate their risk. Increased storage, liquidity, transportation capacity, pipelines, more effective way to move from point A to point B. Absolutely. Our transportation service and more importantly, our storage capacity has been undervalued for many years, says some guy. I don't know who this guy is, but Cray. Energy Transfer. Okay, now let's take a look at, all right, right here. The company lost $854 million a year earlier. The pipeline operator used extra cash to pay down about $3.7 billion in debt in the first quarter. That always kind of concerns me. It did report a quarterly net income of $3.29, far exceeding the $820 the average analyst compiled. So if we look at the stock of this I actually want to read a couple comments. So we'll look at the stock real quick. Let's see here. If Texas does not dramatically improve its electricity security, episodes like this are going to happen again. It's a once-in-a-lifetime freaking cold spell in Texas. Could happen again, sure. Have they learned? Hopefully. Like, at the end of the day, you can't rely on windmills. You just can't. But the natural gas pipelines froze too. You see what I'm saying? So what this means, There is a thing that we could use. If only people would recognize what that thing was that we could add to the grid and just produce like with clean, carbon dioxide free, abundant electricity. What could that possibly be? But I mean, look, at the end of the day, I do like windmills suck. There's no other way around that. Solar's not going to work in the freezing cold when there's snow all over the place. I get that. But let's not pretend that natural gas did not actually have some issues as well. I mean, it just did it. So yes, Texas needs to spreeze. I want to say security, but its ability to deal with episodes like that in the future. But you can't. I mean, look, man. As much as I hate windmills, you can't necessarily blame Texas or the whatever that thing with ERCOT for not preparing for a huge cold spell. No one had predicted this. Everyone's predicting the exact opposite. Now we've learned that cold is not gone. We still have to deal with cold. In fact, I still think the world's going to get colder more than warmer for sure. But anyway, let's keep reading. At least they delivered during the cold snap. Wind and solar were sucking it. Counties and major cities had no response to broken city pipes and pumps that weren't running because there's no electricity, but we did have gas. Not everywhere, though. I think they'll make, let's see. Power was intentionally cut, thus rising the prices. Corporate criminal fraud. Okay. That's funny. You go, Kelsey, as they said in France. Let them eat cake. I'm sure those windmills and solar panels would have come to the rescue from weather. All right, let's see. Yeah, let those profits roll in. It doesn't matter that hundreds dies because of lack of heat. See, this is what's profits over people in Texas. This is what is going to happen here, man. This is what's going to happen. They're going to start saying you can't do that, and they're going to. This is the concern when it comes to scarcity. The government regulations which bring to inflation. You can't profit while other people are being hurt. Well, the other reason people are being hurt. Just read Atlas Shrugged. This is, I mean, just read real history too. What happens is the reason there's scarcity and people are being hurt is because of the insanity of government regulations to begin with. And then when that causes more scarcity, what does the government do? They start bringing more regulations, causing more scarcity and more inflation. This is the concern I've got. Is people say, you can't profit while people are dying. I think this will go away because it's a one-shot deal. But if we have a regular system like that with Sniffy Joe in office, that could be a problem big time. But for right now, not all that worried about it. But just shows why you need to have liquidity. Liquidity is always king. Anyway, let's just look at the stock here. I haven't. Let's go see. We're going to go to ET. I want to see what the unemployment numbers came in. The job numbers. Whoa! They added just 266,000 jobs in April. Economists are expecting 1 million. What the hell? That is not good. What's that about? I mean, I was reading all the left-wing media said it's going to be a jobs blowout. And we have to see what Brian Westbury says. I'm not. That's weird, man. I'm not sure what to make of that. So here's Energy Transfer. Let's just look at the max. And I didn't. Yeah. So here we got a big jump right here. But I mean, let's go back to 5 year. I mean, look, you see, is that 17? I mean, from March 2016 is 17 to 9. Is this a buying opportunity? Well, we'll see when we get some earnings numbers for this quarter. Trailing 12 months negative earnings. That concerns me. 6.3% dividend yield. Well, when they got mass amounts of debt, that concerns me. All right, so we'll see. I'm not buying it. I'm not recommending you buy it. I'm not recommending you sell it. I just don't care. But that's a concern for sure. Let's go to max. Yeah, so we had a run up here in 2015 when the price of gas is going through the roof. Trade at 33, now down to 9. I don't know. That, I mean, that's a risk. I mean, that's a value-oriented stock for sure. It's paying a dividend, undervalued, but that with all the regulations and stuff, that could make. I mean, I'd be hesitant to buy that, but I would get it if people are willing to take the risk. That's where you make the money, by taking the risk. Not me. All right, we'll see you.